Oi! Hi, PPG here. Week 7 lesson, lecture 6. As always, baka gusto natin mag-advance reading or watch video para next week sulpak ang activities. Okay? So, di-discuss ko ngayon. Actually, madali lang ang topic na to. It's about democracy in the Philippines. Ayan. So, when we talk about democracy, we already, discuss different types of freedom, right? Coexistence and everything. And now, let's just see a brief history paano tumakbo yung kasaysayan ng Pilipinas mismo. Yan. Democracy is never a thing done. Democracy is always something that a nation must be doing. In other words, when we talk about democracy, it's progressive. It doesn't stop. Freedom doesn't end in a certain generation, certain years, but it is what? Something to do or continuously doing something. And that's from Archibald McLaren. Okay, democracy was introduced in the Philippines during the late 19th century following the opening of the country's economy to the world in 1834. Ito yung pananakop. And the consequence, inflow and outflow of ideas and people along with trade goods. So, syempre, nung nagkaroon ng pananakop, dati kasi dito lang tayo. Although meron na tayong trade. Remember the Muslims, Indians, or mga Indiano, mga Brugudu. No? Paano yung ginagawa nila? Brugudu. Okay? So, meron na tayong tinatawag na idea, trade, free trade. However, it was during the American period that democracy was used in full extent as a political system. Dati hindi siya formal. Ngayon, it's been what you call promulgated with laws and rules. The defeated Spaniards during the Spanish-American War in 1898 sold the Philippines to America. Alam niyo yung history ito, no? Balikan yung other video. So, yung tinatawag na Treaty of Paris. Yan. Filipinos chose to be independent rather than be subjected to another colonialist, Americans. Thus, the Philippine-American War happened. After 3 years of fighting, the Filipino revolutionaries surrendered to the American forces. So, after Spain, 300 years, Amerika, natalong Pilipinas. So, nasakop tayo ng United States, which is also beneficial. Like, nung sinakop tayo ng mga Spaniards, maraming abuses talaga. If you look at your book, mayroon din corruption doon, no? Hindi ko lang nabagit sa previous video. Mayroon corruption doon. Nabibili mga tao. Bakit ganyan, no? May presyo ang tao, mukhang pera. Ang kapalit ng mukhang pera ngayon, mukhang promotion. Yun. Anyway, we stay away from that class. We don't want to, rot our, what you call, integrity. So after 3 years of fighting, the Filipino revolutionaries surrendered to the American forces. And Dr. Jacob Sherman to head the Sherman Commission in 1899, which the basic objective is to establish a civil government in the pacified areas, training of Filipinos in governance. So, tama, sumuko yung natalo yung Pilipino sa Philam War, which, by the way, marami namatay na Filipino doon, class. Lalo yung mga Muslim sa Mindanao. Tadtaran o busan, no? And parang ano yan pero yun yung mga tagong secret, pero you can research that. But eventually, when they won, they improved our country, the Americans. Yeah, there are abuses, but compared to Spaniards, compared to Japanese na nagsakop sa atin, Americans were far the better part because they developed the country. Kaya nga may Baguio City, di ba? Na love nyo, di ba? Kaya nga may mga bases tayo, di ba? Yan, may mga magagandang mga tanawin. Okay? So, Americans did architecture in Manila. Yeah, those things. Although, yung mga nag-create na mga Espanyol, yung mga Fort Santiago, yeah, maganda yan, no? pasyalan. Okay, go back to the lesson. The Taft Commission under Judge William Howard in 1900 hastened the transition from government, military to democratic one. So, there was a transition after the Americans nanalo sila. Inayos na talaga pa rin yung bansa natin kasi gusto nilang gawin Amerika to. So, inayos nila mga daan, etc. Mga pamamaraan, mga politics, mga system, mga structure, yung hierarchy, yung forms of government. Inayos nila. Education system, inayos nila dyan. Yan siya. Tapos from military, magiging civilian na ang Pilipinas kasi sinakop tayo ng mga Amerikano under military rule, tapos kinonvert nila into civilian rule or civil. Philippine Organic Act of 1902 created the Philippine Assembly which acted as the lower house of the Philippine Commission. Ayan. So nagkakaroon na tayo ng formal representation under the 1902. Ay, dito pala, wala pa yung panahon ng Hapon. Dito nag-start din mga religious group. Mga Iglesia ni Cristo, mga Seventh-day Adventist, dito sa bandang siglong ito, itong generation na to, kasi nagkaroon na ng kaayusan yung bansa. Magagandang daan, yung education system. Ayan, nag-start na dyan, class. Alam na alam ko yan. Kasi sinilang na ako dyan. Hindi. Following the Great Depression of 1929, anong the Great Depression? Yung ekonomiya ng buong mundo, lalong ng Amerika, bumagsak. Maraming nagutom, maraming walang trabaho, kaya Great Depression. Buong mundo yan, globally. So, sinabi niya, sige, bigyan na lang natin ng kalayan mga Pilipino kasi sa atin nga bansa, depression Lugi tayo. Walang trabaho yung Amerikano. So, ibigay na natin yung Pilipinas sa mga Pilipino. Buti may Great Depression, So, under the Act, batas naman to, Tidings-McDuffie Act, signed by President Franklin D. Roosevelt, hindi si Franklin Drilon. The Philippines was given a 10-year transition period to come back to be known as the Commonwealth of the Philippines. So, para maayos ang Pilipinas, pamumuno, ayan, transition na training na sila, and 10 years para pag binitawan ng Pilipinas, hindi sila magmumukhang, kawalan. Marunong na silang tumayo sa sariling paa. The 1935 Constitution institutionalized American democracy in the Philippines since it essentially copied provisions from the U.S. Constitution. So, medyo nagkopya lang tayo ng Constitution sa Amerika, the land of the free, 1935 Constitution ng Pilipinas. And in 1935, Filipino men can vote. 1937, pwede na magboto ang mga babaeng Filipina. Hindi ko alam yung age, kung anong age dito, panahon nito. But you can research that. Pero, yun ang tuloy-tuloy na constitution ginagamit natin. Panahon ng Hapon, gera, nung sumakop si Hitler, ito, World War II, World War. Those things. 1935 constitution, or no, not 1935, yung 1930. Yung kanina, nakalimutan ko tuloy. Yun yung constitution ginagamit natin until dumating yung 1972, the foundation of democracy in the country was put aside upon the declaration of martial law by President Ferdinand Marcos. Si Apong Makoy. So, since then, we've been using the Constitution according to the American Constitution, the freedom. Tapos, sinuspend ni Marcos. Paano niya sinuspend ang Constitution pala, class? It was remolded in the 1973. Constitution was remolded in 1973 after martial law. So, nung kontrolado na ni McCoy ang bansa, kasi sabi niya, wala nang kwenta yung 1935 Constitution or yung Constitution ng panahon na yan. Just check the year. And papalitan ko yan. So, pinalitan niya noong 1973. And for a brief period of time, the country experienced a strict disciplinarian state that controlled the economy, legislation, and the media. It's called Amendment Number 6. This ensured that Marcos would retain control over legislative branch, meaning siya na yung gagawa ng batas. Siya lang. Okay? History ito, hindi ito invento. Which was then called the Batasang Pambansa by the 1973 Constitution or the National Assembly per amendments of aforementioned number 6. So, inamend yung dating Constitution. Ang pinalitan lang ni Apong Makoy ay yung tinatawag na siya na ang batas. Di ba? Naalala niyo, class? Ako yung batas. So, gagawin ko yung gusto ko. Yan siya. The Constitution, even after martial law is lifted, okay, after martial law, walang Constitution. Siya pa rin yung nangunguna kasi nga may Amendment number 6. It stipulated that the President may exercise legislative powers when there exists a grave emergency or an imminent threat. It also states that the President may enact laws in case of National Assembly failure to function. But yung National Assembly, kasi hindi naman nag-function yun eh, papapatay nila yun eh. So, siya pa rin lahat ng gumagawa. Sabi nga, doon na uso yung ako ang batas. When Ferdinand Marcos was ousted in 1986 through the success of the EDSA People Power Revolution, which ito yung sigaw ng mga Duterte, no? People power, people power. Patalsikan si BBM. Hindi matatalsik si President Bongbong Marcos kasi wala naman abuses. Yung abuses na sinasabi ng DDS, fake lang yon. Abuses kasi hindi na sila ewan ko, ayaw ko magsalita. So, wala naman magkakaroon ng EDSA. Kaya nagkakaroon ng EDSA noon ay kasi mga ka-age ko, mga baby boomers at ahead, ay thinking Pinoy sila. Wala silang gadget, hindi lasan sa fake news. Kaya alam nila yung totoong nangyayari. Ngayon kasi, mahirap mag-people power kasi puro mga gadget ang generation ngayon. They are what you call an independent, what you call self-satisfying generation. So, pag sinabi mong ganito, maliban na mga mahihirap, bibigyan mo ng pera para mag-rally. Okay. Walang magkakaroon ng rally sa pamumuno ng mga DDS. Malayo. Iba na yung panahon ngayon. Thinking Pinoy na sila. So, that's just my opinion, by the way. So, after People Power Revolution, kaya nga BBM, and BBM is doing a great job anyway. Doon sa EDSA People Power Revolution, Corazon Aquino issued ito, Proclamation number 3, pang-kontra doon sa Amendment number 6 ni Apong Makoy or former late President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Proclamation number 2, which suspended the provisions of the 1973 Constitution and established the revolutionary government. So, nagkaroon ng amendment na naman nung nakaupo na si Corazon Aquino. It also authorized the writing of a new constitution that had safeguards against potential abuses, especially on the provisions regarding the declaration of another martial law. It can be argued that the 1987 Constitution helped reinstate democracy in the Philippines. So, nawala na yung dictatorship, etc. Dahil sa 1987 Constitution, binago, gumawa ng bago, hanggang ngayon ito yung ginagamit natin. At na masasabi natin democracy is restored. Pero there was an attempt to remove this Constitution under President Rodrigo Duterte. But it failed. Okay? Kasi nga, God's will, there was, I think there was no good intention about it. Ngayon, mga kaalyado ni DDS, ay pinupush nila na naman yung change. I don't know. But we'll see. Okay? Sorry, I'm giving some points. Okay? And, ito, the issue of political families. So, pero, ngayon, ang problema natin sa 1987 Constitution, meron pa rin dynasty. Which, matagal na may dynasty. Parang bago pa dumating yung mga Spaniards. Diba may mga dato? Sinong nangunguna sa mga dato? Yun sa mga raha, pamilya. So, pasa-pasa yung authority. You see? So, dynasty has been with us long time ago. Kaya nga kung makikita mo mga Villar, ang problema nun, wala kang choice. Mga pamilyang politiko ang mangunguna. Ngayon kasi, vocal sa mga Pilipino. Kaya may dynasty. Kasi sila rin nagboboto sa dynasty. No? Like, and ewan ko bakit ang bilis mauto mga Pilipinong iba. Like, ulit-ulit na lang yung mga dynasty, mga same names. No? Sa bagay, hindi masisisi, pinapapatay nila pag, alam ba, may habol na bago, papatay nila. Wala tayong magagawa na. So the Dato class in the early Philippines gained power not only by their lineage but also by their influence and prestige. Thus, it was important for them to maintain their wealth. Yan. Wealth na naman, pera. Okay, ito yung mga transition. Commonwealth period, 1935 to 1945. Ito yung Commonwealth period, mga forms of government and laws, constitution. So transition government was supposed to last for 10 years where the Philippines would finally gain independence, was disrupted by the entry of the Second World War, mga Hapon. So nagkaroon ng Third Republic sa mga Hapon yan. The Philippines gained independence again, but martial law ensued. 1972-1981, Marcos declared martial law and established a new constitution. And then, yun. After that, alam niyo, yung sinabi ko kanina, nag-1987 Constitution until present. Okay, so I hope this lesson helps. Let's proceed with the activity for the week. Let me fix my camera. So this is what you're gonna do. You are going to create a law. Okay, and this will be passed written work on September 12 in our class alongside with what? Reporting. Okay, so you're gonna discuss about the law. Just in case, if there's a typhoon, then I may require you to upload them in the drive or create a video about it. Okay? It depends. And things needed research on how to compose a yellow paper. Of course, you also need what you call comprehension skills, English skills, which you learn in Piling Larang and in English subjects. So it's easy to compose if you have the words, the vocabulary. So this is where your practice reading, your industry in crave for knowledge, will help a lot. Okay? So you're going to create a law. Each group will create a simple law with the required elements. I'm going to show you what you need to write on. Remember, always go back to our lecture, and I also discussed this already. Please go back to our lecture. What's that? There was this sharp thing here. Okay. And make sure that you read. Okay. This also is part of the performance task because you're going to do some reporting. Written task because you're going to submit a written work, the law itself. Now, who are going to make this? There's going to be 2 groups per row. So you have 4 rows, 2 per member. So I'm going to see 8 laws. Okay. And you already know your groups. Assign a leader, collaborator, researcher, presenter, writer of the law, uploader. If we're going to upload it in the drive because of no classes. So make sure focus on this, okay? And you will give an overview sorry, of your law via reporting starting September 12, okay? Okay, any questions? Okay, let's proceed. Let me show you the example. You can go to this link here and you can see a lot of laws there where you can understand more vocabulary. Okay? Now, this is what the law looks like when you click the link. And you're gonna read everything. I suggest you read, each members should read one law so that you will be immersed. And then try to create a reflection paper on your own so that you will see your comprehension skills. Because it's gonna be hard to create a law if you have you don't understand it or there's no comprehension skills. Yeah, so there's sort of research and homework. Okay? So here's an example that I've shown you already. So this is the exact template. There's this act title, you can see there. Section 1, short title. Section 2, declaration of policy. Section 3, coverage. Section 4, definition of terms. And then the name of the group, approve, the name of the group. and then approve September 12th because that's when you're going to present it. Okay, and this covers week number 7, September 9 to 12. 12 is Thursday. Okay, so what is the act title? The act title is the long title of your law. Section 1, short title, is what you're gonna call your law, the alias. Declaration of policy, okay, whom will you recognize, what are the things that will be part of the law, um, what are the things that, the benefits of the law, why you created it, uh, and as you can see, if you read through it, uh, why did you write the law? In other words, ano yung pinaghuhugutan ninyo? Yan, declaration of policy yan. Number 3, this is like in research demographics. Sinong sakop ng inyong batas? Anong edad nila? Anong gender, if that's part of it? And sino-sino sila? Section 4, if you find any difficult words or terminology that may be misinterpreted, doon siya sa definition of terms. Because we don't want people misinterpreting what you wrote there. So, dyan yung lalagay yung definition of terms. And that's it. Approve your members. And here's the rubrics. Okay? So, check the rubrics to get a perfect score. And everything is on the page, has been uploaded already, ready for consumption. Done. And that's it, pansit. So, we're done. Ang bilis na. So, don't forget, watch this video. Kailangan mayroon at least 86 tayo lahat. 85. Dapat at least 60 views ito, okay? God bless.